Button.
All right, welcome. We got another banging show tonight. We're still touching on the topic of why relationships fail. Helen, you ready to go?
Yes, let's talk about it.
All right, let's talk about it. So we want to start out with a clip today. Saw it on Instagram. And Helen, if you mind rolling that clip, let's do it and we're gonna
Yeah,
talk about it.
let's do it. Let me pull it up here.
All right.
Give me 1 second. And sheriff sound.
I'll forever submit to you, Miles. I'll forever respect you, Miles. I'll forever honor you, Miles, as the head of our home and no other. There is no other, there is no one, no plans of hell will ever prosper in our marriage and will ever hold me not to be a wife that is a Proverbs 31 woman. I will become that woman that builds the home as I follow you, as you follow Christ. That is the only thing that we will do in our household. I shall be a submissive wife unto you as we continue to do this work of God.
Gentlemen, you need a woman that is walking with Christ, not just a woman who's on a spiritual journey. It's not the exact same thing. You know, these women that claim to be on a spiritual walk, they're talking about the universe. You need someone who's actually connected to the source, someone who is actually walking with Jesus Christ, someone who wants to see you grow, someone who wants to support you and love you. These women, these Proverbs 31 women know exactly what they are called to do by the Lord. And this is exactly what you need in your life. You need a woman who wants to see you win, not a woman that's going to toss you at the very first moment that things don't go her way.
I'll forever.
All right. All right. So let's talk about the obvious first thing, because we know what what do you think about that video? What's
No,
first?
I wanna.
What you know?
You are laughing. We wanna hear from you. I'm not gonna say a word until I hear why you're laughing.
Well, obviously, the first thing you notice is that she took a knee. You know, she took a knee, and so obviously, traditionally, there's women, that would frown upon it. I'm sure. As a man, I'm chilling. Like, okay, if that's what you want to do. So, what are your thoughts on that? I'm gonna let you go. You share your thoughts because I know as a woman, is it okay for a woman to take a knee on her wedding day? Keyword, her wedding day.
Uh, I didn't see their way. It's funny like that. I didn't even
Yeah.
cross my mind or cross your mind. Like Stickney and everything. For me, I thought was very cute that she wants to do that, and I didn't see that way. I really didn't. It didn't look like, oh my gosh, I can't believe she's doing that. Like it is her wedding, and I don't know if because I didn't have the super fancy wedding, maybe I don't understand what that would cause if I had a super fancy wedding. But what crossed my mind though, and that can be a little bit judgmental, is that sometimes it's not about the whole scene about being something, but is I willing to be there every day? Because sometimes the ones that make the show is actually the ones that gonna give up in a first trial. That is pretty, and sometimes it's easy to do that in a day, but it's not easy to do that every day. And that it was the only thing that was crossing my mind. They
You mean you talking about as far as the wedding day, as far as like the wedding day event? You talking about the
the
event?
no, about talking about the Proverbs 31 at
Oh,
31st
okay,
woman,
okay, oh, okay,
it's
oh,
like
okay,
you understand, like it's easy to
okay.
do this whole party
Proverbs
about it.
Proverbs 31 woman. Let's look at what a Proverbs 31 woman is for our audience, first of all, because a lot of us may not even know what a Proverbs 31 woman is. That she didn't got on both knees. She didn't. I'm trying to figure out what this Proverbs 31 woman be like because from what I see, it's starting out all right now. I like that. Yeah, you right. You right, Rick. No,
She could, she could be tired of the hills too, Daryl, so you never
she
know.
or never mind. I ain't gonna look. It ain't 12 o'clock yet,
So
so
sometimes, hey
I can't say
man,
what I was gonna say.
when you're rocking at level 10, sometimes you find an excuse to not be in your heels anymore. Just
Hey,
believe me.
hey. Oh, I looked up the
Hey.
wrong one. What's she say? A Proverbs what woman?
Proverbs 31st women mean shows that she's the first one to wake up in a house. She take care of her
Yeah,
households. When this
I'm okay.
winter,
Here it is. Yeah.
yeah, you read it.
Proverbs 31 and 10. A wife of noble character who can find? She is worth more than rubies. Her husband has full confidence in her and lacks nothing of value. She brings him good, not harm, all the days of her life. Hear that, ladies? She brings him good, not harm. I like the sound of that. All the days of his life. She selects wool and flax and works with eager hands. She is like merchant ships bringing her food from afar. She gets up while it's still night, so she's a late night. She provides food for her family. She provides food for her family. I ain't
Oh,
even gonna
oh,
open that. I ain't even gonna open that bottle. That.
I think it has ways to the interpretation that you had is different than mine, but go on.
I'm just starting to. I'm just talking to her. And she provides food for her family and portions for her female servants. So she got servants. Dang.
Mm,
She considers a field and buys it. So she business. So she business. So she's a
keep
provider.
going.
The men were just providers. So you mean she provides
Hey,
too?
keep going,
So you
finish the verse, man. Finished.
she considers a field and buys it. So she's a thinker and she's a businesswoman. Out of her earnings, oh, she earns too. She plants fit. God, I
Keep
don't even want to
going.
read no more.
Keep going. How come you didn't know about Proverbs 31st? You're the
I
pastor.
did, I did, I
You are the
did, I
bishop.
did, but
Go
I
on.
did, but sometimes it's good to be reminded what's in it. We're
Absolutely.
always
Go
reminded. So
on.
this is a reminder. All right. So man, I like this. She sets about her work vigorously. So she works. Her arms are strong for her task. She sees that her trading is profitable. So she's trading and her lamp does not go out at night. In her hand, she holds the distaff and she grasps the spindle with her fingers. She opens her arms to the poor. So she's done ministry work and extends her hands to the needy. When it snows, she has no fear for her household. So she's bold and confident. All of them are clothed in scarlet. She makes coverings for her bed. She is clothed in fine linen and purple. Her husband is respected at the city gate. So it probably means she ain't talking noise about him behind his back, where he takes his seat among the elders of the land. She makes linen garments and sells them, so she's business and supplies merchants
She's
with
a
sash. So
fashion
she all
designer.
up in the thing. She is clothed with strength and dignity. She can laugh. She laughs, ladies. She laughs. She laughs at days to come. She speaks with wisdom, and faithful instruction is on her tongue, not gossip. I didn't mean to say that. Faithful instructions on the tongue. She watches over the affairs of the household and does not eat bread of idleness. So she's not just sitting there doing nothing. Her children arise and call her blessed. Her husband also, and he praises her. Many women do noble things, but you surpass them all. Charm is deceptive and beauty is fleeting. But a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised. Honor her for all that her hands have done, and let her works bring her praise at the city gate. Man, if I wouldn't have known this was about a woman, I would have thought this was a man's one. Let's
Uh,
talk about it.
let's
Let's
talk
talk
about
about it.
I like
Let's talk
these.
about it.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. This is the verse that gets me the most. I think the entire Bible. For me, honestly, I think we need like 4 episodes on this, not one. First of all, she's a fashion designer. Come on. Come on, dude. Come on, dude. She's a fashion designer. Like,
Let me read it again.
look at her.
She,
She creates look at her. She creates the linen and she makes the clothes. So,
hey,
but Okay, say what you want to say because I have lots to say that. So let
Um,
me hold on.
shoot, we may not make it to the second video because I didn't. Maybe there's a different translation because that one hit
Eh,
just right, man. I want to talk about the fact that,
are you
and this
doing
is
message?
she provides for her family.
But here, how do you hear that? How do I hear
No,
that?
hold on.
Let's
First of
just
all, let me put it like this. Nowhere, in no way, shape, or form am I saying that this is negating the man from providing for his family. It is in our nature to provide for the family. Okay. However, however, what am I supposed to do with that? What am I supposed to do with that? Because we've already established that the man is a provider, but according to scripture, it said the woman is a provider too. It also says in scripture, ladies and gentlemen, God established in his word, he said when he created Adam and then he created Eve, he created a help meet for him, meaning equal playing field.
eco plane. Uh-huh.
So that means all that talk about, oh, it's the man's job. He's supposed to do this. He do this. He said, you are too. Matter of fact, I'm gonna say this. Hold on, don't cut me off now. Don't you got your turn. You're gonna get your turn in. Matter of fact, this is why I believe that purpose matters because the purpose is what the man is carrying as far as purpose. That wife, notice I didn't say woman, I said the wife, because you're not a wife when you get married. You're a wife when I find you. And so that might went over some of y'all's head. You're a wife when I find you. Bible says he who finds a wife finds a good thing. It didn't say who he gets married to a woman and she becomes his wife. He who finds a wife. So that wife is now supposed to be directly tied and connected to that purpose that that man has now provided. You may now proceed with what you were going to say.
Go.
And don't butt me because I don't want to hear no buts.
I
Shouldn't be
appreciate
no buts. There should be some, you're right. This, you know what I mean?
you are absolutely right, my lord.
Go ahead.
But no, no, no. I want you to go a little bit deeper
Okay.
on what you just said. That you said something that I really love, and I want you to kind of explain a little bit more. When you said you're not a wife, what is
Okay.
not saying like when I marry you, but you're a wife when I find you.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I like that. I want to hear this perspective a little bit more.
Okay. So, you know, you can be single, but be a wife. You can be a wife and be for the streets. Or excuse me, you can be a married woman and be for the streets.
You're a wife, yeah.
But you can be single, a single woman, and be a wife. You're just not married yet.
Exactly. I
See,
am
that's the subject right there. That's a bar. That's a bar. I'm gonna write that down. That's a bar. We need to do a one on that one.
I
Are
know.
you're married but single?
Because
Single but married. Mm.
even like a example close to me, I had a friend that he recently got divorced, and this man is a businessman, and he's savvy, super cool, like everything he does. And he's 27, and he got divorced, and he was trying to make work everything in couples therapy and everything. And then as we were talking, he explained to me a couple of things, and we got the conclusion that he said, you know what? I feel like she left the parents' house and continued to be a daughter, and she never became a wife.
Mm. That makes a lot of sense.
For a
Makes a lot of sense.
27 old man, he already like he built like a huge he came from nowhere and built a huge company and everything, and he said I will work all day and be like in lives and events and everything, like creating my whole thing. She was part of the company, and then I'll get home, she was like just it is saying like changing Netflix, which is nothing wrong with that. But he realized that all the struggle that he was having is because she was just a daughter in somebody else's house, and she never took a place as wife.
You know what? Man, okay, so you just brought up something good because uh
I
I hear
always
a
bring
lot of
something
women
good.
talk. Well, so I hear a lot of times, you hear this statement about women feeling like they're raising another kid in the house when it comes to their
Man.
spouse.
Hmm.
Man, it's like they're playing mom all over again.
Yeah,
Could that be, could that be something that like that is that kind of like what you're talking about there? Like maybe it's
absolutely. And
a
goes to
boy that
the
still I can relate to that. I can relate to that, man. Just being, you know, as a professional athlete, 17 years old, getting drafted straight out of high school, being thrown straight into the streets per se, a lot of money. That doesn't make you very mature. You're still very
uh,
much a little boy. And getting married at 25 years old. And I mean, you got to think about from 25 from 17 to 25, that's 8 year gap of just, I don't want to say being not baby, but how do I say this? There's a lot of stuff being done for you as a professional athlete. And the higher level you go, the less you have to do as far as how people take care of you. So yeah, I can see why there's a lot of immaturity there. There's a reason why a lot of these athletes, we think the way we think as far as the party lifestyle, as far as marriages having a hard time succeeding, just because the maturity level is not there. So the same thing goes for men as well, is that you're not a man. You're not a man because you get older. You're a man when you mature into it. There's a maturity factor. You're a male. You're a male, but until you learn disciplines and responsibility and purpose and direction, that is what makes you into a man. So it's pretty cool because you have this dynamic where you have this woman, this girl who's training to become a wife and a boy who's training to be a husband. And we think that that happens when you get married. And God is like, no, this is why I need you to spend time alone sometimes. Be okay with being by yourself so I can mold and shape you into something so that when you get there, you're safe for success, as I would say.
and as a mom, I have a boy and a girl, and we gotta be careful to not baby our babies too much. Give you responsibility and
Mm,
hold
mm,
them
mm,
accountable. Hold them accountable. Scream sometimes, be the crazy one, be the crazy lady.
mm, mm.
Everybody keeps like so at the tongues, like in the I feel like lately is a culture that is everything centered around the kid. And some kids
Oh
I talk
man.
to, they feel so retarded. Like some kids, like my kid is 8, my son is 8. Not that he's special, but man, the other day was a 8 years old kid talking that I swear to God, I thought he was like 5. I was like, this kid is not 8, because my son will sit down and carry a whole conversation. He's a kid. He's still a kid. He'll play. He'll be strong. He'll be acting up sometimes, but it's like they have responsibility.
Mhm.
And we are going places together. Like here, houses, like we are building business, and my son's doing again. Like I have awards and everything, and he keeping asking me for the next award. He see the million, he like, where's the million? Where's the 100 million, mama? Where's this? It's like, and I keep reminding him to get the next award. I need you to take responsibility for what yours. Whatever is it, set up an alarm, do your thing, do your shit, get done. I don't know. I don't need to babysit you all the time. And he's 8. And that is me. And when he complains, like, oh, I wish I say, I know we all wish we don't have responsibility, but let me tell you, you want to make a lot of money, right? And he's like, yeah. You know when you start making money, when you start solving problems. You know what you're doing when you're washing the dishes, when you're setting this, when you're taking care of this, you're solving a problem. The faster you
Mhm.
solve this problem, the better your brain will be. And like that, you're developing your brain to solve problems. And people only make money when they solve problems to others. And the biggest problems that they solve, more money they make. And the
So,
thing is, I, yeah, go on.
so are you saying that what I'm hearing is so you get into relationships to
Mm.
solve a problem, right?
Also, yeah, yeah.
You get
And it's
into
part of
any
the,
relationship to solve a problem
and
or
the thing is,
problems.
more problems. And the thing is, everything in life is solving problem, and everything successful will be, the success will come for solving a problem. And the
Not
problem can
getting
be,
into your feelings all the time.
no, no, actually, like the more, honestly, the more the marriage were like treated as a business, better relationships would be.
I
Because
believe that.
it's not about like getting right all the time. Like the thing is, like, I even love the Proverbs 31st because, man,
Oh,
it
me too
gets
now.
me.
I love it too. I love it too.
I see why you being a little bit biased, but the thing is, honestly, was the only Proverb. Is my light okay? Because this one just died, but
You're
I'm
good.
not gonna go get discharged. It's good. So the thing is, I always hated Proverbs 31st. Hate it with all my guts. For like, no, I think 2 years ago that I actually sat down and said, like, let me read and pay attention and let God talk to me about it. Because, and I think that's
God, like I've
why,
been talking to you about it.
exactly, because I think for me, that thing that she showed that and was in social media for me is the thing that I don't want to do, not because of the knee down and this and that. But for me, honestly, it felt like a show. And it's like, be a Proverbs 31 woman. For me, I think I hate it. I hated that I heard so many times in church, like growing up, the I am the Proverbs 31 woman. Proverbs 31. And I'll be like, and I was like, want to throw up because you don't even know what that means. You didn't even understand because everybody would stop as like a woman and noble character, so hard to fight. It's like a ruby, blah, blah, blah. And they would stop right there. I was like, no, read all the way down. You read all the way. It's like take he's talking about responsibilities. And what I want to highlight is because I thought for my entire life almost, I said it to God many times. I said it with my own words. I never want to be the Proverbs 31st woman. And I said like because she sounds boring, annoying, and so and I don't want to be that girl until I stopped and I read it and I let God talk to me. And you know what I found out when it was funny? The entire time God was talking to me, he's like, "Isn't that, don't you wake up first before everybody else? Don't you prepare the meal for your family all
You
the time?
already know.
Were you like a fashion designer saying, halfway that you don't want to be, but you have a lot that she does that you do too? I was like,
Mhm.
but I hate it that we take parts of the Bible that is just convenient to me. But like it's about that you wake up when it's done, like when the sun is not up, meaning before everybody else, it's a 5 a.m. woman, it's a 4:30 p.m. and prepare the food. It's like not provide the food in a sense. She's the one that earned the food, but she's the one that prepare. Meaning, mamas, when you making the lunch box to the kids, you're doing a noble thing. And it feels like, oh my gosh, the mundane. But it was the mundane that provide the biggest miracle in the Bible. A mama that prepare a food for their kid, provide the fish and the bread that Jesus could multiply because of that simple job. So here in my house, normally like we woke up like I woke up early, I go to the gym, and when I come back, so Roger likes to stay in the kitchen, so he does the part of the kids because it's harder to wake them up. So we split the task that like we try to always find who with these strengths that we have, who is good with what. So okay, like as a man, he say, I don't have patience to be like dragging somebody that is sleeping and make them wake up. Like I don't want to deal with that. And for me as a mom, I go instead of just say, hey, wake up. I put like a 2 minutes alarm. I lay down with Valentina and I snuggle a little bit and start like waking her up, put the 2 minutes and 2 minutes to Enzo, and then I help them like wake up so they can get dressed and get ready. Okay, and that sounds mundane, but it's those little responsibility that differs like being just somebody that got married to be the wife. And I think I hated that path so many times because for me there like was misused, and was just what was convenient. Look how special I am. But
Mm,
being special to the eyes of God is not trying to be so special. It's like take your place. And I think I never want to be the Proverbs or the first woman, because to me it was like I don't want to be this perfect girl. I can't, because for me it was always clear, it's not, you are my friend, and it's like I'm far, far, far from perfect. Like I can't be perfect, and that was stressing me out until the day I understood that it's take a position, but not trying to be perfect, but it's willing and not trying.
mhm. Yeah, so that's interesting. I'm gonna close it on this story I had. I was talking to a friend the other day, and they were upset about, just as a mother, you want to be perfect for your kids. A lot of mothers, especially mothers that either single parent mothers or people that or mothers that just find themselves doing a lot for their kids and maybe feel like they don't have much help. And I never forget telling her, I sent her a scripture that said, because she was like, I don't want to fail my kids, and I sent her a scripture that said, uh, where God is talking to us as children, where He says, even if your mother and father disown you or forsake you, I will take you up. And in other words, God is telling the child that you're my kid no matter what. So what I told her, I said, number one, you have to understand that that's not your kid. That's God's kid. Okay.
Hmm.
And no matter what you say, he gave it to you. He gave like it, he gave them to you. And you have to understand that it's a blessing for you to have them. And now our responsibility as parents, as leaders in these children's lives, is to lead and guide them toward the purpose and calling that God has for them, not that we have for them.
Yeah.
And so the purpose that I'm even explaining that to is even as a woman or a male, purpose matters because purpose determines who you choose, who you get married to. It should. Who the friendships that the partnerships that you allow in your life, the responsibilities that you take on. How many times why are we burnt out because we feel
Heavy.
like we're doing too much. Yeah, we feel heavy. And God says that my yoke is easy and my burden is light. In other words, He's saying it's not supposed to weigh you down. You're operating in
Yeah.
what I've called you to do. Your marriage isn't supposed to weigh you down if you're operating what I call. Yeah, it's not going to be easy because you're dealing with your flesh, you're dealing with emotions, you're dealing with stubbornness, pride, so all this stuff that we're pulling away from, that we're being called to pull away from, and you're trying to work together for a higher purpose, but it's always that higher purpose that can call you out of whatever crap you're going through, whether it's your kids or not. And so, with that being said, um, we'll get to the next video, next episode, but I agree with you. Um, Going back to the original point where, as far as the kneeling on the ground, I don't have a problem with it because to me, when the purpose is pure, when the motives are pure, and what I believe, because I know there's a lot of women, y'all can put in the chat, a lot of people like, oh, I ain't getting on my knee, I ain't doing that. Well, here's the deal. when the purpose is pure. For me, I look at that woman as saying, like, she must have a lot. What type of man is he for her to put it on the line and get down on her knees, something that breaks tradition to do that, knowing that there's going to be a lot of chirping. Oh, what's she doing? She crazy or she doing all this other stuff? That must be one heck of a man, or he's done some things to make her feel like, hey, I'm safe with you to do this. I could be 100% wrong. I could be wrong. She may be crazy. She may be, but for me, I just
But
like
it's
the fact
true.
that she quoted, I'm a Proverbs 31 woman. That lets me know she understands what type of woman, at least understand or knows that she's supposed to be
Yeah.
that way.
Yeah. I
I'm
have,
not saying it's
I
perfect.
got it.
I'm not saying
I
it's
got
perfect,
it.
but
No, no, no.
how many people, if you say
But
what a
just don't
Proverbs
use
31 was,
but just don't use it lightly. I feel like if people stop in the first part of the Proverbs 31st and like it goes down in a lot of
yeah.
details, a
But what do
lot
you
of
mean use it
details. So,
lightly? What do you mean use it lightly?
a lot of women, I saw a lot of girls saying like
Oh, okay,
that,
okay,
that
okay. I thought you were
makes
talking
them
about me. I
feel
was
good.
like,
No,
what?
no, 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 not you, not you, not you.
Okay.
I'm saying a lot of girls, and I think that's what I hated at first because I thought just girls like like misuse that like I'm a Proverbs 31st woman, but not even like you really understand what that means. I think that was my problem. And based on what you talk, it's not like a team. I think we gotta understand as a team, like you said, the yoke is not supposed to be heavy. And when we hear that, we think that it has to be perfect. But no, the yoke is not heavy. It's not when it's perfect, but when you feel safe and feel safe there. Sometimes just feel safe, like, hey, I messed up. Or feel safe means, hey, Helen, I'm mad at you the way you talk to me. And be able to say things like this openly and more and not feel just judged and misunderstood, but also like, oh, so like, yeah, I messed up. Like, sorry, and it's not about one thing that I had to talk to my husband a lot, trying to understand is like when I say you hurt me or I didn't like that, not try to justify or defend yourself. The first thing that I think as a couple, any relationship, friendship per se, that's something that I teach to my kids. Like when somebody comes to you say like, hey, you hurt me, you hurt my feelings, and don't try to justify, but first say I'm sorry. I'm sorry I hurt your feelings. I'm sorry. Acknowledge, just acknowledge, because it's not about you, but it's about how the person felt. And just as long as we acknowledge first and then try to understand, anybody will listen. But the problem is we're so worried about like be right and not understand like, okay, maybe that didn't mean anything to me, but meant something to you. And if I really care about you, I can't just say like, there, stop being a sissy. Like, come on, but like, why did that hurt you? Because for me, it sound like that. But how did that sound to you? And probably the conversation is not gonna go there in the first place. Maybe we'll start of like what? Or something like do that. But try to come back as soon as possible to say, hey, yeah, I react when you say that, but hey, sorry, I did that and I want to understand why that was important to you. And I think it's always a why. It's always a why behind. Can be things from the past or anything, but be safe too doesn't mean like super extravagant things. Sometimes be safe is just that. Be a safe place.
Yeah. No, and with that being said, I think that'll be a good segue into the next episode. We'll be discussing letting people do what they prefer to do. So that'll be for next episode. Hey guys, put in a chat, write your comments, what you like, what do you want us to talk about. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Also, like, share, get the word out. It'll help us with the channel, grow the channel. Until next time, see you when you see you. Peace.
Peace.